everyone, good evening and welcome to this webinar organized by Docsity in partnership with UNIMORE, Università degli Studi di Modena e Reggio Emilia. My name is Lucia. I will be the presenter tonight in this webinar where we are going to present all the perks of studying a doctoral research program at UNIMORE. Tonight we will have with us a luxury panel that I will introduce to you in a couple of minutes, so bear with us for a couple of minutes until everyone has a chance to join this webinar, and we will go right on with the presentations. In the meantime, please note that in the Zoom menu, you will find the chat where you can start saying where you're connecting from and say hi if you wish. And also you will find the Q&A box where you can place your questions throughout the presentation, and we will read them all at the end of the presentation in the Q&A session. I see more people joining the webinar at this moment. So my name is Lucia. On behalf of Docsity, I'm presenting this webinar organized in partnership with UNIMORE, Università degli Studi di Modena e Reggio Emilia from Italy. And we invite you to discover all the perks of studying a doctoral research program at UNIMORE. Tonight with us, we have a panel with the professors and also testimonials who have done or are doing doctoral research at UNIMORE, and we'll tell you everything about doing a doctoral research at UNIMORE as an international student. So I'm pretty sure you will have a lot of questions for them, a lot of curiosities about the study programs, about being an international student in Italy, about being an international student at UNIMORE, and also you might be very curious about all the details of the general information about the doctoral researches at UNIMORE. So now, without further ado, we will start this presentation. I will introduce to you the first speaker that we will have tonight. We have Professor Alessandro Capra. He's the Rector's Delegate for Internationalization. So Professor Capra, the
Hello, everybody. And the topic of this meeting is regarding PhD students. So we wanted to describe you the opportunity of recruitment and even mobility on PhD courses. But I would like to, or we would like to to introduce you to UNIMORE, University of Modena Reggio Emilia, with a very short presentation, some slides. I'm going to share the video, hoping that everything is okay, right? What's about UNIMORE? UNIMORE is a university on two campuses, one in Modena and the other in Reggio Emilia, two towns in the Emilia-Romagna region, in the central north part of Italy. And what about our community? Here are some updated data. So it means we have something about 27,500 students at the bachelor level and the master degree level, divided in the different fields: physical science, life science, and humanities, and about 2,000 postgraduate students. It means in the field of specialization, school, master, and PhD. We have about 800 professors and 700 staff, so it means technician and administrative staff. So go back, okay? And very quickly, the three principal fields are social science and humanities, health and life, and science and technology. You have several departments with a total of 15 departments in the different fields. You see, and more detail, obviously, you should find on our website, UNIMORE, www.unimore.it, and there is even a section on international activities, research, and teaching. Regarding teaching, we have approximately, we have 90, the last year, 96 bachelor and master degree and 6 single cycle master degree courses. It means in Italy, 5 years courses. 15 PhD programs, and medical specialization, and even postgraduate. A very important success of goal we obtained is that in the last year, 2022, the Italian official report placed UNIMORE in the first position regarding the employment. We have about 80% after 1 year, and it is a very good performance at a national level. Here are the courses, but some more news regarding PhD student. Nowadays, we have approximately 600 PhD students, and on this, something between 9 and 10% are abroad students. So it means international student. We joined at 10% this year. It's about 9% of these students. And regarding, we have a good action in terms of research, in terms of research among Italian university, where we are the third one with respect, obviously, with the university with the same size of UNIMORE. And a very important question for the people interested in PhD is the action after PhD. So it means our action in terms of technology transfer. We have we have several spin-off companies and a program of entrepreneurship training program for many of our students, and a good relation with the companies. We have the research funded for 36.8 million euro in the 2 years period, 2018-2020. So our collaboration at the national system and so on. These are obviously very few information, and we have several opportunities in terms of student mobility and student recruitment. Obviously, we are talking about bachelor, PhD student, master degree, but nowadays we are concentrate on the opportunity for the PhD. And my colleague, Professor Cabri, Professor Pavan, later we talk about specifically PhD, and we decided to invite, and with really thanks, some testimonial, 3 of our PhD student or PhD already doctorate, just in order to give you some feeling, some on their experience. Please contact me if you have any question, me or the colleagues, regarding the PhD student recruitment and mobility at UNIMORE. And last but not the least, don't forget the Modena and Reggio Emilia are in the central part of the Emilia-Romagna region, and the quality of life is very high. It is one of the reason because the students abroad are choosing our 2 towns, our university. Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor Capra. Now we'll go on with the presentation of the research programs. And now it's the turn of Professor Giacomo Cabri. Professor, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, and welcome also by me. I have a short presentation, and I try to explain you why you should continue studying in a 3rd level of the university education. So the main question that you can have is, why should I continue my study? And I have studied also in the bachelor, again in the master, and so why should I continue? Well, before answering, I start from the levels of the Italian education. The first level is the bachelor degree, which is very similar to other European countries, and in which you have general scientific methods. So it is you can learn the very basic contents about some discipline. And you have also the acquisition of specific professional knowledge that make you able to practice to do something quite different from the high school. Then we have the second level, which is called the master degree, which is 2 additional years, and you can reach the 5 years of the complete path. And in the master degree, you have advanced training. In particular, the degrees are focused on high qualified activities, and you can get a master in a specific field. And then you have the 3rd level, the PhD, which is not so codified, at least in the Italian law. You don't have a very clear, sharp, and specific definition of the third level. It's quite vague, but it is very useful to have interesting interdisciplinary paths and degree in the PhD. In fact, during the PhD, you make the research, so you can acquire a methodology to approach scientific research, but research in general. We can talk also about innovation. You have the chance of applying the different methodologies, different technologies, and in general, you can stay tuned to the state of the art in your specific field. Then you can have the chance of widening the horizon, to open your mind, because you have different chance of going abroad. You have the chance of working in a research lab. You have the chance of meeting people who are working in your field. And so this is very, very useful besides the technologies you have learned and we have talked before. Then you have the chance of being involved in project, and you can see how a project is managed. You can see what is important inside a project, which are the goals, how to reach them, which is the methodology, and so on. And finally, you will learn how to manage projects, as I mentioned, but also students, internal students, during their thesis. You can have a different relationship with other people. You must present your work, and this is very, very useful to learn how to interact with other people and how to give value to your work. So there are different aspects, many are transversal, all are transversal aspects that you can reach, you can gain during your PhD. Time ago, the PhD in Italy was conceived only for the academic career. So usually the person who enrolled in a PhD program has the goal to become a professor, an assistant professor, a full professor, and so on. But recently, it is very, very different in the sense that now the skills that you can learn during a PhD program can be useful for different kind of application. In particular, different jobs now require to be to be at the state of the art of the field, and to be able of applying new methodologies, innovative methodologies. The skill of innovating is very important in all the field, not only in the academic research. So you can spend your PhD in a very broad range of activities, jobs, and companies, and so on. This is taken from the Alma Laurea, which was mentioned before by my colleague Alessandro Capra. And Alma Laurea provides some questions to the students. And these are the aspects that the students think are relevant for searching for a job. And as you can see, the professional skill is the first aspect, the most important. So the PhD program can give you such skills. There are other skills such as the autonomy, independence. Another important aspect is job stability. Another not so important, but also important, career opportunities. But at the first place, we can find the professional skills, what a PhD at UNIMORE can give you. The PhD program in general in Italian, but in specific, we applied it to the PhD programs at UNIMORE. We have a more structured path. Many years ago, the PhD was not so structured, so was left to the tutor, the supervisor, but now it's more structured, but also there are more chances to customize the path, the education path. So you can, from one side, you can have more, let's say, courses to attend, you can get credits and so on. But on the other side, you can choose the courses, you can choose the ability to gain, to get from the PhD program. So this is my last slide. I thank you for your attention. This is my email address, giacomo.cabri@unimore.it. So you can write me if you need specific information about the PhD program as a path, as an educational path. And now I leave the stage to my colleague with more details about the programs, the single programs.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Professor Cabri, for this wonderful presentation. Now going on with the specifics of the programs and details about the doctoral research programs. We have now with us Professor Paolo Pavan. Professor, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, and
Okay.
good evening to everyone here. Can you hear me?
Correctly see your presentation. So
excellent. So I will just add some information on what my colleagues have already told you, doing some more kind of a deep dive into some of the opportunities that we have here in UNIMORE for your activities in case you are interested in it. It has been said already that the PhD is the highest education level in many countries and prepares to do research at high level, but also it connects education to research. So you need to be educated to do that. And this path is very interesting because it's giving you the possibility of building up new relationships with the companies, with other international institutions, and to develop new projects and dissemination of your results in public and to the research community in general. So PhD programs are therefore dedicated to the education of these new researchers, not only in the private sector where people are kind of used to have them, but also in public companies and public offices. They're opening to have more dedicated people to high-level activity and high-level knowledge. So it's an essential ingredient of the European higher education area, which is an international collaboration of higher education universities and institutions. So once you get into the Italian system, you get connected to the whole European system of research in general. So what is research, though? Doing research means many, many things. Depends on what you actually, the type of research you're doing and the kind of topics you're actually addressing. It means using a different methodology according to objects to be analyzed, gathering information on events, facts, phenomena, or also writing projects, elaborating and reworking theories. So doing research means generating knowledge, and it is one of the driving forces behind the universities we live in and the schools that are related to educational environment. So doing research also means to come into grasp with the reality and the complexity of the phenomena that have been studied, as well as with the problems that researchers has to face on a daily basis within the academic and institutional world. So research is a complicated profession, constantly living at the borderline between theory and practice, but moves to by curiosity, and I would say for all the stranger things, for all the people that know what that means. So it means being able to make the contents of one project clear and explicit, conveying enthusiasm that one feels when seeing one's interest grow. So it is a very interesting activity that I still love very much even after so many years. And research activities and projects can be grouped in Europe in 3 ERC, say European Research Council macro sectors. One is related to life science, one is related to physical and engineering sciences, one is connected to social and sciences and humanities. So UNIMORE is a multidisciplinary university, and there are significant research activities in all macro sectors. And there are even different types of PhD programs. There are programs that are within the university itself. There are programs that are inter-university, that are connected, research activities are carried out in more than one university. The teaching body is made of lecturers from different universities, but there is a local network, I would say. Then there is a new kind of program in Italy just started a few years ago. It is called National PhD Program. So the topics of the program should be of national interest, and there are many universities that are connected all together to create this network to analyze and address some of these specific topics. I just adding to the new, I got the new this afternoon that the new project for Marie Curie Action PhD program has been approved, and our university is part of it. So we should also add some international PhD program type. This program will start and it will be developed, devoted to students that have they have their former activity in some European countries or other countries with respect to Italy. So future details will be uploaded and given to you. So if we think about I'm just illustrating now the programs in the life science area. So we have 4 programs: clinical and experimental medicine, molecular and regenerative medicine, neuroscience, food and agricultural science, technology, and biotechnology. What do they do? Names are very interesting. I mean, there are many things that are, for example, repositioning natural products in drug discovery, production of new like polysaccharide. And these are names that you can see in, or things that you can see in our websites of the activities that are done by researchers in these areas. And a lot of medicine and tumor targeting and production of nanomedicines for targeting these problems for public health. If we think about, if we're going to show now the physics and engineering, so you see classic physics and engineering topics, computer and data science, but for technological and social innovation, ICT, industrial innovation, mechanical and vehicle engineering, civil, environmental and materials engineering, models and methods for material and environmental science, physics and nanoscience, automotive engineering for intelligent mobility. Here, when you see this administration in other universities, this means that it's an inter-university program, and mathematics as well. Again, a lot of things coming here. You start from the classic IoT and the cloud connection, data centers, environmental analysis, industry 4.0, smart mobility, security, cybersecurity, smart electronics, etc. But you name it, you can find a lot of things. In the social and humanities also, we have a lot of programs here too. Work development and innovation, Reggio childhood studies. I mean, in Reggio Emilia, it's a worldwide city famous for the methodology they actually developed and started to develop there, and they spread all over the world. It is called the Reggio model for childhood studies, of course. Humanities, technology and society, human sciences, law, religious studies, learning sciences and digital technology, education to reading and the benefits of reading and reading aloud. And a lot of things here that are needed to correlate the technology transformation to the education and the system we are living in. So it is quite new things. Then there is a long list that I'm not reading to you of PhD programs that are national programs. So I just want to show you the long list because it gives you the idea that our university is well connected in Italy, and a lot of topics can be addressed, not only locally, but you can actually become part of a national network on the topics that you're interested in. So it can be very useful to address these things and then get enrolled into these national programs. There are a lot of companies we're working with, and here you can recognize in some of these names there are international companies, worldwide known companies, and local companies. But just to name you a few, and to conclude, let me just tell you that you get in touch with research when you're preparing your master thesis, and then after that, since you're entering the magic world of research, you will be overwhelmed by passion, of course, and then you will enroll that in a PhD, because you will see that PhD is a great opportunity to increase and complete your preparation. And the PhD title you gain is well understood and accepted in a larger number of companies in Italy, also in small, medium enterprises, but everywhere in Europe and in the world. And in this, it makes a difference in your salary and the kind of job that you can actually get when you go. So also in Italy, our Ministry of University and Research is investing heavily in PhD programs to develop new collaboration with public and private institutions and companies. So it's a very active field and a very interesting moment actually for enrolling in Italy. So enroll in a PhD program at UNIMORE, and here you have also the website of the page where you can see the list of our programs and the possibility to enroll. All right, so thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Pavan, for this presentation. Now it's the turn of our testimonials. We will start. If you could please, Professor Pavan, to stop sharing your screen. Kindly. Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Now we'll start with the first testimonial. This is the turn of Maria Camila Arita Tarazona, who is a PhD in Industrial and Environmental Engineering at the University of Modena and Reggio, Emilia. Maria Camila, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here to share my experience. So I have recently completed my PhD in Industrial and Environmental Engineering, and the focus was more of like material science. To talk about my experience was that from the first moment, I felt very supported by the university. The university has a department that is for international students, so they are very helpful when you're coming to Italy, and they help you with the visa process, and they also help you with the residence permit to be here. So that is something that for me was very helpful when I arrived here at in Modena. Also, there's a variety of courses for the PhD. One of the courses, for example, they help you how to write a scientific article. They also give you a course on the proper English for presentations and for scientific articles, and I found that very useful. And also, depending on the focus of your research, you have also the opportunity to participate in many courses. So I think that is really helpful for your professional growth. And also, like in my case, I felt always very supported by my supervisor. I think the university has really great labs and great equipment in my case. So I always had all the tools that I needed to efficiently complete my research, the experiments that I had to do. So I think that is also an interesting point. And also the university encourages the students a lot to participate in congresses. I participated in many national congresses here in Italy, but also international congresses. So that gave me the opportunity also to interact with other researchers that are working in the same field as me. And also, another thing that I found very useful of the university is that they also support a lot research stays abroad. For example, in my case, I did two research stays. One was for 4 months in Spain, and the other one was 3 months in Germany. And I had the full support from the university. Also, there is the possibility to get an additional grant if you're going abroad. Of course, we know that if you're traveling to another country, there are a lot of extra costs. So you have that support from the university. So I think that those are the points that for me were more relevant and actually made that my experience here in the PhD was very positive. And also for me, the experience of living in Italy and living in a beautiful city like Modena, it was something that was really good for me, and I really liked and enjoyed the experience. So I really encourage all of you to try it too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maria Camila, for your presentation and for presenting your testimonial. We'll now go on with another testimony. In this case is Michael Alejandro Hernandez Bertran, who holds a bachelor and master's degree in physics from the University of Havana, and he will tell us everything about his experience at UNIMORE. So Michael, go.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael. I came from Cuba, so I am an international student. I am glad to share with you my experience during these 3 years of PhD. First, I would like to talk why Modena, why UNIMORE. So. If you look on internet, probably you will find that Modena is famous for Ferrari or the gastronomy, but it's not only this. And in fact, the UNIMORE is a proof of that. I knew about the UNIMORE by, let's say, first hand. So we in Cuba have a 10-year tradition of students coming to UNIMORE to pursue a PhD. So I have previous colleagues and friends that highly recommended the PhD program, and I applied, and luckily I was accepted because it was so far a great experience. Modena is a vibrant city, and it has a high quality on research and study. But talking more in detail about the university, first, if you are an international student, you will be a little worried about the language, because despite that the PhD program is in English, the society, is Italy. You must probably know some Italian in order to have embraced the culture. This is not actually a problem, and I advise you, if you are interested to apply, to learn Italian. Locally, the university offers courses on the very first year in which you can learn Italian, at least for communicating in the street. And also they offer English programs, so you can improve your level of English, which is very useful for your research. Talking about the academic part, they offer a quite solid formation. So they offer several courses, and you can basically improve the subjects that are treated in your field. Another let's say attractive factor is the mobility. The university encourage their students to go abroad and get new experience in other countries, other research, other labs. So during my PhD, I participated in several conferences that were in Italy, also international. You will have always support from the university. They have a budget for this, then you can spend money for travel, for hotels. This is very important for your professional career. Interact with other researchers, get other point of view. Recently, I spent 3 months at EPFL in Switzerland as part of this program, and for me it was a very nice experience. I just returned yesterday, but I assure you that it was great. And a last point that I would like to touch and share with you is that obtaining a PhD in a European university opens great opportunities in the academy and also in industry. So once you have your degree, you will have a lot of doors opens for your future. So I highly recommend this PhD program at UNIMORE, and I am glad if someone has any question, any doubts, let's say more specific, I am glad to share what I can provide. So thanks all.
Thank you very much, Michael. Now it's the turn of Elton Donnori. He's currently the head of computer engineering department at the Metropolitan Tirana University in Albania, and he will tell us everything about his experience at UNIMORE. So, Elton, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lucia, for introducing me. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here and share my former experience as a PhD student at the University of Modena, Reggio Emilia. I concluded my PhD more than 11 years ago, so in 2012, the time I returned in Albania. When I graduated in 2007, I started to work in a company because I was a little curious to change a little perspective. I was studying, and then I said, okay, let's try a little bit what happens in the company. The first 6 months were kind of exciting because obviously you learn new stuff. But in 2 years' time, I realized that I was getting into a sort of routine, monotonic days, because once you learn somehow things that you have to when you settle in a company, then with time you used to do the same stuff almost every day, and in time there is little space to learn new things. So after 2 years, then I decided that working in a company was not that exciting for me, and I decided in 2009 to start a PhD program in information and communication technologies, to turn back at the university. I want to share a little bitter experience that I had when I announced that I was quitting my job. I told my boss that, look, I'm sorry, I was feeling good here, but you know, I want to challenge myself with something different and start a PhD program. And he answered, oh, you are returning back to the university, and have fun. I didn't expect that reaction. And I was, to be honest, a little disappointed why the company has such perception about PhD program, about research at the university. Things have not changed that much, but in time, as well, companies are understanding the importance of research, because I'm a computer engineer, and nowadays with ChatGPT, with artificial intelligence, almost every company is trying to be is curious about these new technologies with new approaches, and are investing more and more, are realizing that investing in research is important. So here in time, hopefully companies are understanding the importance of doing some research and having a PhD, because it helps quite a lot. As foreign-year students, obviously, to me, it was a very good experience, because the network I created, the person I knew, the experience that I had, all these things that I got with me when I returned back in Albania in 2012. So since then, I have been lecturing in different universities in Albania, and I brought with me quite a huge experience and networks. Through this network, I was able as well to participate in several projects, European projects, to enter a cost action, Erasmus Plus project, Horizon 2020. So meeting people, creating a network helps you to advance in your academic career. And I hear about several universities that open the opportunity of doing a PhD as sort of, let's say, a part-time or in remote, distant, using this distance approach. In general, I would recommend that such experience should be lived on site, because it's very important to create not just a network, but a cooperation. So I used to sit in a sort of open space, a lab area with other colleagues, where we could have the chance to discuss about almost everything. So obviously, when we all had a thesis supervisor, a professor, and as we were young, somehow we were shy a little to knock the door at the professor and ask maybe trivial things. But when you are in a common space with other colleagues that more or less have your age and then can help you anytime for anything, and even trivial stuff that you might not have the courage to ask your professor, that helps, because it helps you to grow. It helps you to learn about what other things, what other colleagues know. They share their knowledge, they share their experience. So I would strongly advise that whenever you decide to take this step and do a PhD, strongly recommend to do an on-site, to do the PhD on-site university, and have as much interaction as possible with the colleagues that are around you, not only on your research group, that obviously they share the same objective, and because being on the same group, but as well with other groups, because it's always good to learn the recent novelties and technologies about as well other topic beside your field of interest. So if you are let's say willing to challenge yourself on daily basis, I really recommend you to start a PhD. Don't be afraid of failing, because failing is quite normal while doing a PhD. Because if you work in a company, you're more or less you expect the duties that you have to. You are all more or less trained in the things that you have to do. There is little things that you can learn that you don't know. So somehow you will reach at the end, maybe with some delays. But research is kind of you never know when the way you have started will end up, because you might fail the first time. You have tried to come up with a new solution, you test it, it doesn't work maybe, or it provides just a small improvement that you are not proud of, and it looks like you're failed. You may have spent months or even 1 year trying something new, and at the end you realize that, oh, what the hell, so it's not working as I was expecting. This is quite normal. So the beauty of research is even that. So you are struggling every day with your ideas, and sometimes, many times you fail, a few times you succeed, but when you succeed, it's quite a big pleasure. And doing a PhD is like as well working on your own, like a freelancer. So when I was a student, I used to work till late in the evening. And when my parents called me, where are you? I'm still at the university. Oh, my poor son is still working at 8, 9 p.m. Yes, you can work at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It's not because everything you do, it's another success. It's another as well paper, because at the end, sometimes we count papers, but it's another success in your milestones, in your achievements. So you never get tired of working, because as much time that you work, it turns to be on your benefit. So you never get tired. So it's a beautiful. I work in academia, as Professor Giacomo said, that yes, not always who ends up with a PhD program works in academia. Well, there are quite a lot of big companies now that do research, and there are many that work on research. Personally, I enjoyed working in academia. I'm university lecturer since 11 years so far, head of computer engineering department, always in touch with students, always in touch with companies that We usually come and headhunt students to recruit. So it's colorful, and I'm really enjoying the academic life. You never get you get tired, but you never get annoyed. So there is always something new to learn and to discuss, and you are always active. Your brain is always running and running. So from my personal experience, I really give a huge advice of doing a PhD, so doing this path, because it's opened quite a new window to your future. I don't want to take much of your time, and if you have any questions, I would be glad to share any feedback with you.
Thank you very much, Elton. We will now call all our speakers to the floor right now so we can answer the questions. We have quite a few already in our Q&A boxes. So to our students, you're still on time. You have final minutes to put your question on the Q&A box so that we can read them out loud and our panel can answer them. So here we have one. Which are the main requirements to be selected, and how important can knowing English is on the admission? I don't know, maybe if Professor Cabra.
Yeah, I can reply. And
Yes,
most of the program now are in English, and lectures are delivered in English. The offices are, and all the things, and colleagues are speaking in English all the time. Conferences are in English. Most of the programs are like that. So English is necessary. So I would say that Italian is not compulsory, which is a better way of saying that. You do not need to know Italian. English is to be known because it's a scientific language worldwide, so it has to be used. So, we do provide also lots of different courses for English improvement, not only for students, but not only for talking and communication, but also for writing in English, scientific writing and stuff like that. So we do have a center for languages that is helping students. They do have also some mandatory courses while in their PhD program as a transversal, let's say, classes to take for English writing and English presentation, public presentations, public speaking classes.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Pavan. So we have some more questions. Are there any courses for a PhD in psychology?
We do have some colleagues working in psychology, and some researchers can be seen into the neuroscience program. It's a psychology related more to the neurosciences and connected to the neuroscience. The new coordinator of the program is a psychologist. It is Sandro Viti, and you can check in the website of the neuroscience program. It is not dedicated to psychology only, but it can be faced there and it can be addressed there.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Pavan. Okay, now we have Ria, who is asking, are research paper publications mandatory for admissions in the PhD course?
No, the only requirement is a master degree. So if you have a master degree, you can submit you can apply. There are other requirements that are not mandatory. So, for instance, some publication can be useful, or some reference letters. But the only mandatory requirement is the master degree or equivalent.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. So this answers also another question that we got, asking if a bachelor degree was enough to apply for a PhD. Instead, unfortunately, you need to have a master's degree or equivalent. So thank you very much, Professor. We have some more questions here. Okay, here we have again Ria, who has placed quite a few questions. Are there any opportunities for PhD graduates to be absorbed into faculty or research positions within the university?
Yes, the answer is yes. There are not many, but there are chances to be absorbed in the faculty career. And we have several, how to say, postdoc grants. We have some permanent positions after the postdoc. And so the chances are present, but not so many, at least in Italy. But there are many chances also abroad. The Italian PhD is very good to apply abroad. And also, of course, the UNIMORE PhD is useful.
Okay, thank you.
Let me add that you have in this time of this specific period where there are a lot of temporary positions. So 3 to 6 years after graduating in your PhD, you might have many opportunities. But even if you do not have a permanent position, then you get in touch into a very wide network of universities, and your curriculum is well suited for application also in other institutions all over Europe. Lots of our PhD students are everywhere in Europe, as you can see from not only in Europe, but even further.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Pavan. So Ria is also asking, do PhD students receive a stipend or financial support during their studies? We have quite a few questions about funding and financial aid and scholarships about the PhD program, so we could review this part to answer them all at once.
Yes, there is a scholarship, a grant, which is the same for all the PhD student in Italy. So it is decided not by the single university, but from the government, the Italian government. I can't remember exactly the amount of money. I think it's around 1,000 and
1,200, yeah.
Okay.
100 per month, more or less.
Okay, and also there are some funds that can be used by the PhD student for the research, for attending conferences, to buy something for his work and so on.
Thank you very much, Professor. So we have yet another question from Ria. What factors or qualities are typically considered when reviewing applicants' profiles to ensure acceptance into the program? So I don't know which.
Can you repeat it, please? I didn't get it completely.
Oh, sure. I can go again. What factors or qualities are typically considered when reviewing applicants' profile to ensure acceptance into the program? Which are the main factors in the admission process?
I think that a good impact is given by the let's say, the career they had in their previous studies. So how they perform in their master's program. And also if they had already in some way, even if it's not a mandatory thing, even if they had some, the master thesis work and topic, and the fact that they can actually manage some research in some way. They have been involved in some research project for the master thesis. But officially, I think the only thing that is needed is a good grade, GPAs or grade or whatever they have in their system at the end of their master thesis program. If I understood the question right.
Yes, I guess you did. So I don't know if Professor. Yes.
Yes, very quickly, something to add regarding funds,
sure.
Because the colleagues, obviously, or we are talking about the funds that could be achieved in UNIMORE, in our university, but we have not to forget the funds that in each country are available for bilateral program or in general for PhD students. And in this case, obviously, every student has to control what's happening in his own country, and the opportunity, and asking us in case of bilateral agreement, where it should be possible to receive funds from their own country to recruit or to inscribe to PhD students in UNIMORE. And there are so many, and they are related to the salary, to the family salary, but even to the title and the votation they receive after the master degree in their own country.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Capra, for the information. We have yet another question about the starting date of the semesters. Is there a specific day where they need to apply, do the application, or is it all year long?
Yes, there is a specific call for the PhD program, and students interested in the PhD must apply. I think the deadline is end of July, but I'm not sure. They can have a look at our website, and they can find any information about our PhD program, the application form, the deadlines, and so on. Was it the question about the data?
Yes, the entrance date of in special semesters.
Okay, the beginning of the program is the November 1st. So all the students currently start their PhD program on November 1st. But the application must be sent before the submission of the application by the end of July, and then there is a commission that evaluates all the submissions and decides a list of PhD. The first students in the list get the scholarship, and then we have also some chances of a PhD program without the grant, but it is reserved to specific students, not for the most of the students.
Thank you very much, Professor Cabri. Another question here says, what GPA is needed in order to be able to apply to a PhD program?
There is not any official requirement for GPA. It's a comparative list that you do according to the position that you get with the other participants, with the other people enrolling. There is not a number that is needed.
Okay, thank you, Professor Pavan. Here we have another question saying, can a business master degree holder apply for a PhD program? I guess it will be enough, Professor Cabri, since following previous answer you gave about requirement was to have a master program or equivalent, a master degree or equivalent. Here we have a question from Lucas saying, I would like to know about incentive for research in computer science or data science, such as partnerships with companies, research group, etc. It was mentioned in the presentation, but I would like to know a little bit more. Thanks.
Okay, I think we have no time to go into details, but you can find different information in the UNIMORE website. In particular, we have two programs, one in ICT and another one in computer and data science. So you can have a look at the 2 pages of the 2 programs, and there you can find some details, and you can find the email address of the coordinator of the program, and you can ask them about the details.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Cabri. Unfortunately, we are arriving to the end of this webinar. I would like to ask you if there's a website or an email address our participants can refer to in order to eventually know more about the programs, or to ask for a personal interview to maybe review any personal situation about visa applications and equivalencies and so on.
In the last slide that I presented, I added the website where all the list of the PhD programs, with all the list of the PhD programs we have. So depending on the selection of the PhD, they might find some any kind of contact for each one. In case they need any kind of generic information, then the International Research Office, the International Relation Office is actually giving all the information. We have an international welcome desk that is working for all practical and logistics information for that. And in case, I mean, they have Alessandro's and Giacomo's and my email address in the slides, and they can actually check that.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Pavan. So I will invite our panel to leave a final message to our participants to encourage them to join the PhD programs at UNIMORE.
Bye-bye.
Yes, Professor Capra?
No, only to confirm what Professor Pavan said regarding the addresses and the webmail and so on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Capra. So to you or the rest of the panel who would like to leave a final message to our participants tonight to encourage them to join the PhD programs at UNIMORE?
So the message is that we are very happy to welcome students from everywhere in the world. Modena is let's say, medium-sized city that is very friendly, easy to live in. Then I'm not probably, I'm immigrant here too. I'm not coming from another city in Italy, so I know the experience as an Italian transferring in here. And it's a nice city to live. It is very convenient. It is you can bike around. You have a lot of things that you can do in the city, and you can easily move all over Italy with public transportations and go and visit all the other places. So from the logistics and the personal life, I think it can be, but probably the other guys can tell something about that anyway. And from the scientific point of view, I think we do have very good researchers here. Our students are very well appreciated, and then we have 3 of them here that are very well appreciated in the research and in the let's say academic or research field or industrial field outside of Italy. And what we know is that they are very well accepted, and they search them. So they are really, headhunters are actually hunting for our students everywhere. So my recommendation is that in case you're interested to get into this to these programs, please do so. Get in contact with the name you can find in the website for a specific question about specific topic. Get in contact with professors and colleagues. They're all very friendly, and they can answer to you and try to clean and get all the information that you might need for. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Pavan. Professor Capri, is there anything you would like to?
Okay, I can add also that you are welcome here, both in Modena and Reggio Emilia. They are 2 very nice cities, and you can enjoy the entire region of Emilia-Romagna. And I fully agree with my colleague, Professor Pavan, about the scientific skills that can be acquired by a PhD in Modena and Reggio Emilia.
Thank you very much, Professor Capri. I don't know if Professor Capra has anything that he would like to
let me just add that I forgot to say Reggio Emilia, but I lived in Reggio Emilia too, because when I moved, I moved to both cities. So they're very well connected and very easy to live in both of them. The dimension is more or less the same, so it is not that different.
Thank you.
I completely agree. We should talk about Modena and Reggio Emilia too, because the size of the city is very similar and the quality of life is very comparable. And I think this is very important. Like Paolo said and Giacomo, it's a quality of life, the dimension of the 2 towns. And in addition, obviously, with the good scientific programs, we will wait for many students than possible. And here we are. So come to Modena and Reggio Emilia and taste not only scientific aspect, but even the way of life in our region.
Thank Thank you, Professor Capra. So now, last but not least, to our testimonials tonight. I don't know if Maria Camila would like to leave a final message to our participants.
Yeah, I would like to also encourage everyone who's interested in applying to the PhD program. Apart from the scientific excellence of UNIMORE, also Italians are very welcoming, and living in Italy is a whole cultural and gastronomical experience, which is very much worth it. So I encourage everyone.
Thank you very much, Maria Camila. Michael Alejandro.
Yes, I also want to encourage all the participants to give it a try to UNIMORE. As the previous panelist said before, that Reggio and Modena are two cities that are, let's say, that worth to live on them, because it's the quality. They have a high quality of life. They are fully connected, and the cultural experience it's great in both of them. And for the academic part, it's UNIMORE is well recognized at the university. Your degree will worth a lot on let's say if you're planning to get either academical continuation of your career or an industry continuation, you will be well recognized. And I just encourage everyone that is participating to apply and enjoy this great experience.
Thank you, Michael Alejandro. So, Elton.
Just a last remark from my side. So personally, I found in Modena not only good professors, but good friends. So after 11 years so far that I left Italy, we still, I keep in touch with most of them, even though I may not have some research to do, but we still send greetings, we still keep in touch. So I found there good friends, open-minded. So you will enjoy as a PhD student. As a foreigner, I would advise as well to grab that experience and to bring that experience at your home country, like I did, because you will enjoy and benefit from this experience, and Modena will benefit as well, having colleagues, friends all over around the world. So Modena is a very open-minded city and people, so they will enjoy that too.
Thank you very much, Elton, and thank you to the whole panel for your wonderful presentations, and to our participants who were with us here tonight, especially to the ones who resisted until the end. So if you would like to obtain the certificate of attendance issued by Docsity, you have to send your request at webinar@docsity.com, specifying the webinar you're referring to, your first and last name, and the email address you have used to register for this webinar. So in behalf of Docsity, I would like to thank you again for your participations, and I hope to see you all again in the next webinar organized by Docsity in partnership with UNIMORE. Have a nice evening.